Yo, we crack open the cold one with the crew. Rod J bringing brews, AP got the screw. Midwest vibes, pouring pints, yeah we grinding. Sales of Fox and Morse, keep your minds rewinding. Across the state, spread the word, that's how we do. From the craft to the cans, always something new. Raise your glasses, cheers to the cherry sauce. And every sip, till the stories evolve.
Hear news blowing up, hear the chatter.
Midwest Beer Show, racing the crowd. Roger on the mic with the passion and blast. Dave Z's got the knowledge for an history fast.
What is up, everybody? We are back with another Midway. You're getting into that song, ain't you?
I know. I'm liking it. I have to put that on my Spotify, my workout mix or something.
Welcome back, folks, to another Midwest Beer Show. Dave was over here nodding his head. So, yeah, back-to-back nights. Last night we had the best of 2025 with myself, and Dave was on briefly here. And we had the Alkanos, half of the Alkanos was Ray. We had Chase from Nutmeg, and we had Shane from Shane's Craft Beer Review. Kind of giving some rundown of the favorite beers we had in 2025, and we may have a little bit more of a touch on here. I know Dave's got some prepared as well to kind of hit on, and I'll make mention of some as well. But it's the last beer news segment of the year.
Oh,
you're right. Next week is New Year 2026. So we'll be kicking off some of the things going out there. So maybe we'll make some what are you going to say? What is the word I'm thinking of?
Predictions.
Predictions.
Look at our crystal ball, our crystal beer glass.
Yeah. We got a few pieces from a couple of brewers that kind of think what they might be targeted next year. But we'll get into a few different things here tonight. But thank you for all of you that tuned in. And those that have come back, we really appreciate you coming back again. And those that are new here, we appreciate you being here new for the first time. So,
welcome. Yes.
Yeah. So shout out to Todd in the house. Cheers, my friend.
What's up,
Great
Todd?
to see you. And and a good Christmas. We talked about it a little bit last night. Everybody good Christmas, it seemed. And now we're getting ready to roll into here. And where do we want to start on the beer news? Do we want to start with doing a beer review first and then get into the news items? What do you feel?
Yeah, we could touch briefly on our best beers of the year.
All right. I'm going to pull up your here.
Little thing.
Wait a minute. Is there volume? There's volume on it, right? Okay.
No, there's no volume on it.
Oh, okay. The volume thing was there. All right.
So keep scrolling. Go to the end. I got two more there. I'm towards the end of it.
Here we go. All right, look at this. Getting fancy with the beer review.
There we go.
Oh, Wookie Jack. Yes.
Yeah. I mean, those five. I mean, and it's not a top five I mentioned on my show. I don't really, do stuff like that. But these were five that, looking back on some of the videos I did, these were five that really stood out. That these are ones that, like, in the case of the 15-year beer on top from Revolution, I'll never get again. But the others, if I see, I'll definitely grab. The Sierra Nevada Pilsner. It's in that cute little 8-ounce can. That I thought was just stunning. It was just a phenomenal Pilsner. This one from Brothership out in suburban Illinois, really great double dry hopped West Coast. Then we have Lupolo, which is from Oxbow. They're out on the East Coast. That was a great Italian Pilsner. And then Wookie Jack, Firestone Walker. Black IPA is a great style. I'm going to crack that open in a little bit here. That's just always a classic, one that I always look forward to and will definitely buy every year it comes out.
Well, we'll definitely be talking a little bit more on the Black IPA as well, because there was something I noticed out there that came out towards the end of the year, and hopefully it might be something that opens up more opportunity as well. And shout out to Marilyn in the house. Great to have you in, Marilyn.
Hey, Marilyn.
Appreciate you being here. And hopefully you had a happy holiday and get ready for a great new year as well. And last night when we talked about some of the beers, Utopia was my top one of the year. Again, I've always mentioned, I do the Untapped type stuff for myself, kind of give me my own barometer, but it was one of the few ones that I've rated as a 5. I mean, it definitely lived up to the hype, as I mentioned. And I've been doing Untapped since 2013. It's probably like the number 10 5 I've ever given, right? I probably got both hands full now. So don't give out 5s a lot, but that one definitely lived up to being as good as it was. Made mention of the Dragon's Milk, the rum barrel coconut, which if you're a Dragon's Milk fan, anybody's Dragon's Milk fan needs to get their hands on that if they can. Of course, the Wookiee Jack we talked about as well, which I also got a chance to enjoy there. The Anniversary Ale. Didn't put the video up on that one yet, but that's another solid one from Firestone Walker, the 29th anniversary, a blend of 7 of their beers that they put together. And actually, one of the winemakers was one of your favorites. It was Pete from Wicked Pete, right? So he was in there messing around with that too. So a lot of good stuff happening over the years. Some really good things. Re-hit on the old favorite, which was a Chill Wave from Great Lakes. Having that again this year. Brought back a lot of good memories. Still a great, solid one to have. The return of the Lake Erie Monster. Don't know if they adjusted it as much, but they did something to it, I think, but it's still just as good. So some phenomenal beers, as always, that come out. And just, a great beer year once again to enjoy different things out there. And that's the whole part of the fun. Not everyone was a winner we've had during the year. You all had some that were just like, it's okay, or maybe club okay, but for the great majority, we found a lot of great other beers out there to actually enjoy. Going up to Indianapolis earlier this year for CBC, got a chance to really check out some good beers from around the Indianapolis area and going to a few of the breweries there. And overall, it's been a great beer year on my end. So, I didn't drink this much compared to last year, according to Untapped. It's like your check-ins were down to what you put in last year to this year. You only did maybe a small wheelbarrow, or you might have done a medium wheelbarrow last year. So it's kind of like I took a little bit of slowdown. And I got into more of the non-alcoholic this year, right? Yeah. The rage right now that's taking place is with NA beers, and I got more involved in it. Me and you both got involved more with Go Brewing as ambassadors with them. Checked in a few of the things from Athletic. Checked out, again, probably my overall favorite NA beers is the Shoots with the one they actually did for the Black Butte NA. But a lot of people, got this Sammy Adams, just the haze. I haven't tried it yet, but a lot of people gave good stuff about getting that one. So
the Sierra Nevada stuff's really, have you had
the Trail Pass, right? I haven't done the Trail Pass yet. That's another one on the list.
I grabbed a 12-pack of that. So it was like a variety pack, and they had 4 different beers, so 3 of each. And I mean, that's always really good. Like, I dig it. Like the one I had today, I did a video. I'll have to edit it and put it out. They had I don't think it's a lager. It didn't say, but I can't imagine these are lagers. They're just kind of cranking it out. But it was like a golden ale with a little lime. I thought that was really good. So, and I've had a couple of the other ones, so I'm looking forward to doing all 4 and seeing how those go. But, Sierra Nevada, everything they put out, solid.
Yeah. So the golden ale with the lime, was that an NA as well? Or?
Yeah. So this was just an NA mix pack that they had. So I saw that I saw it yesterday at my Binny. So I'm like, well, let me pick that up because I am going to do dry January this year. Not that I don't want to drink, but I got to kind of lose this gut. So let me work on some things in January and, stay off the barrel aged.
Yeah. Do what you got to do, right? Yeah. I mean, I got to get more of the gym time back on schedule. But But the NA stuff, actually, I've got the one I'm going to put the review up here in the next probably a week or two that I got for the winter IPA from Go Brewing. So I've got a few of those here as well. The nostalgic, I think it's nostalgic Ski Lodge, I think is the name of it. So
yeah, I think so. Yeah, I know. I got to grab some stuff from them for the month as well. I haven't decided which of their mix pack am I getting.
Yeah. And cheers to you, Simo. Hope you had a great Christmas, my friend, and looking forward to a happy New Year. Simo Subs in the house. You don't know Josh, make sure to check him out, our buddy from over there in the UK. But yeah, if you guys got some favorite beers, you want to let us know and note those down in there as well in the comment section. See if we can talk about them during the course of the show as well. But yeah, all solid choices here. And I was looking at the Terp Trail. I was trying to see that one. That was
that's a double dry hopped West Coast, and it was spectacular. And like Brothership, I think they're out of Mokina, Illinois. I could be wrong, but they're in like suburban Chicago. really good stuff. And that one, when I had, I was like, damn, that's good.
Like, damn.
Yeah.
No, all good stuff there for sure. And so taking a look, I guess we could jump into some of the news since the last time we've had one was a couple weeks ago. Now, the first thing to take a look at here was one that you actually had out there dealing with your area in Chicago, right?
Don't get me started on this.
The proposed Chicago liquor tax sparks criticism as some fear it will drive sales to suburbs. So I'm not going to play the video because of the whole YouTube thing. I don't even know if that's the same story right there.
I think that's an ad, yeah.
Yeah. But here they're talking about the tax. So basically, you guys are going to be getting hit possibly on off-premise sales, it looks like. And that's 13.25%. That's kind of crazy.
That's on top of your federal and state tax. So that's not just total. That's like an additional. So whatever you get hit with your federal tax and your state tax, I mean, it's not going to change anything if you go to a brewery or, a place that, makes stuff. I mean, the article itself even listed a cider place and a place here called Koval that makes like gins and whiskeys and bourbon. So it's not going to affect if you go there to buy it. But if I want to go to a liquor store or the grocery store, that's just an added tax. And for a lot of places, their off-premise sales kind of helps pay the light bill. So you might just get people not buying it. Another reason for people to stop drinking, or they're just going to go to a suburb or go somewhere else. Like, I'm not going to be doing a big Binny's run in the city if this goes through. I'll just, I'll drive an extra 15 minutes and go to a suburb and, save a few bucks.
Yeah, because even like your local Jewel would be hitting that as a grocery store, so they would be having to put that out there on you too.
Yeah, now this isn't official yet. They have to pass the budget by the end of the year, so we only got a few days left. But some of the things that are being proposed from the mayor, it just, in my opinion, just aren't cool. Like one of them is, if you're a large corporation, they want to charge like a head tax of like $30. Let me pull up the article. $33 per employee each month. So if you're a large employer, that's a big monthly hit. I mean, I don't know. I mean, I just think you're driving away business and shopping from the city. I think there's other ways, and I don't know. I'm not an economist. I don't know, but I think there's other ways that you could do this without putting the squeeze to people and companies that actually live and work here.
Right. Well, it says they need 26 votes. So it's 50 of the alders. Is this being pushed like from the mayor? Because I know the mayor is a Democrat there, and I don't know if it's like, I think there's a majority of Democrat that you have in Chicago. So it's like from the Democrat side they're trying to push this, or
Chicago's all. I mean, you've got a few like near the O'Hare side of Chicago that lean more center and right. But as a rule, Chicago is blue. But yeah, I don't know. I don't agree with this. Right. I don't want to get too political here, but I don't agree with the mayor on this one.
Right. No. Yeah. I find it interesting because I look here from Mike Moreno, who they have quoted in here, who owns one of the liquor stores in Little Village, said they're struggling because tariffs have really affected the business, struggling because ICE raids have affected Little Village neighborhood drastically. They're struggling because inflation at an all-time high. And usually those would be kind of those things where Democrats will want to lift and not put more people under pressure. That's why it kind of got me curious, because usually that's something to take in note most of the time, where it's kind of like, okay, maybe we should back off of this type thing. It's not the right time to do something like this. But they may just be blinders on and moving full steam ahead. I don't know.
Yeah, in a lot of places, like, even this new Kansas City Chiefs stadium that's going to be built in Kansas, that's going to be paid with like liquor taxes and things like that. So I guess, You're
And
just like picking on the drinkers here.
Yeah, right. There's not enough stuff we got going on. Now you want to do this too. Yeah.
You make us drink to begin with. Don't make it worse.
I think the line here is of one person, whoever is negotiating this thing, please call me.
Yeah.
Yeah. It goes, yeah. Yeah, I can see where people would not be happy about what is taking place there for sure. So that'll be interesting to keep an eye on. But hitting
we'll
people
see.
more taxes is not always the thing you want to do.
Yeah, and we'll see. We got 4 days left of the year. We'll see what happens, but definitely, I mean, my personal opinion, I don't think it's cool, but I don't know. I mean, you got to get the money somewhere. I don't know where you're going to get it.
But it has to come. It has to come from somewhere. And I was looking there. I realized I did not have a beer in my hand at the time. So I was looking to see what I was going to drink here. What are you drinking now? Because you are drinking.
I just finished that. I was going old school and had an old macro, but I'm going to do a Wookiee Jack right now. I'm going to crack this one open. We talked about it a little bit, but Black Rye IPA from Firestone Walker. If you watched the show Rod had out yesterday, I had that there. It's like one of my favorite beers, and it comes out once a year. Black IPA, you get all the roasted malt notes, the chocolate malt. You get notes of everything with the rye and then with the hops. Perfectly balanced beer. One of my favorites.
There you go. And I'm going to actually start out with something a little bit lighter because my one beer I didn't take out, and it's a stout, and I wanted to warm up because I know how good it is because I've had one already of it. So I'm putting that to the side, but I'm going to go ahead and drink one of the Rheingeist Cincy Lights, which are not a bad deal. I mean, if you're like a macro drinker and you're trying to get into craft, or you want something that maybe is more of a macro feel from a craft brewery, this is a good one. This is definitely better than I would say like a Bud Light or a Coors Light or any of the kind of stuff like that. And price wise, you get a 12-pack. It's so funny. It's like a 12-pack was $12.99, but they give you a $5 rebate, which I thought it was going to be an instant rebate at the thing because it says instant rebate for cash. Well, you get a printout at the cashier. It's like, you got to mail it off for the $5. Like, didn't realize that.
All right. Was this $5 rebate at your Kroger?
Yeah.
So I'm going to call someone a jag-off on this show. I usually do that on my show. Haven't done it in a while.
Bring the jag-offs on.
So we have two main grocery store chains here. We have Jewel, and then we have Mariano's. And Mariano's is a Kroger company. So, every week I go through the apps and the ads, what's on sale. Let's see if this place has a good deal. I'm going to grab it there, vice versa. So my Mariano's app, $5 off Rheingeist. Can't go wrong there. I'm going to go to Mariano's and get some Rheingeist. I figure I can get Truth or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
They don't sell Rheingeist at Mariano, so I went in there for nothing. I'm like, where's the Rheingeist? We don't carry that here. I'm like, well, your app has $5 off. That was like the first thing you showed me, probably because I drink too much, but I'm like, now I can't get it? Jag-offs.
I guess you could get it, and whenever you go to one of the Kroger chain stores, you can use it there, maybe. But but you can get Rheingeist in Illinois, though, right? Just not there.
Actually, the next one I'm going to have, I have Bubbles.
Okay.
So I knew because you could get it here, so I'm like, all right, they're going to carry it at the Mariano, so I'm cool with that. And I looked all over too. I'm like, I'm looking under shit. I can't find. I'm like, damn it.
So with Mariano's, it was basically you couldn't get the rebate slip at the cashier either because you didn't buy it because you need the rebate slip to even fill it in. Which I was like, who mails in rebates anymore, right? And I'm like, who does it? And it's like, I thought I'd get the $5 off right there, like $7.99 for
like a coupon.
Pack.
Oh yeah,
why not? Yeah, so $12.99 for a 12-pack is still good, but I'm gonna give me another $5 off.
I think this was like a 6-pack. I'm gonna pull up while we're talking here. I'm gonna pull up the app because I think it was $5 off a 6-pack. So I was like, sign me up.
Indeed. And shout out to Simo. Thank you, sir. Appreciate the super chat, my friend. Appreciate it, and happy New Year, and have Merry Christmas as well, and happy holidays and all that good stuff. And well, thanks. It always helps to beer fun. Never required, but always appreciated. And in fact, I was going to say, for those that like to follow on the various stuff too, this year I'm getting more involved on some of the membership type stuff. So if anybody wants to look at the membership things, you can always check out the membership for the channel, or like the super chat like Simo just did there as well. So, but that's always appreciative. And thank you, sir. And shout out to Vanessa in the house as well. Welcome, my friend.
So I don't know if you can see it with the reflection. So this is $4 off a 6-pack of Rheingeist, and you could use this up to 5 times. So you could buy 5.
Oh yeah, 5 times. Yeah.
I had the coupon clipped, and you don't sell it there.
Jag off.
Hey, Rheingeist people, I was going to buy it. I was in. I was going to grab a case. I'm like, I'll save that. I'll do dry January, but that'll still be good in a month.
Poor Dave got up there trying to get it, and all he got was...
I got nothing.
The price is wrong.
Yeah. So then I'm going to like, build your own 6-pack. All right, I'll find something good here. And they had a couple. They had that Great Lakes, that like cookie stout or whatever.
Oh yeah, cookie stout.
That had like lactose. I'm like, I can't do that. And most of their other stuff in your like the build your own 6-pack is the F word. So I'm like, nah, I'm gonna pass.
Lactose.
Yeah. So I got nothing out of Mariano's beer.
I think I was on my own year and something broke up there. But yeah. But this is the one you were talking about. I haven't done it yet, but that's the one you were saying they had there. Yeah.
Yeah, they had it, and I'm looking, I'm like, oh no, this is not gonna end well. This is not gonna be that's not gonna be a Christmas miracle. So I'm just gonna put that one down.
You gotta be careful when you battles with the lactose.
Yeah.
Not worth going in for that one. So secondary account for when I'm banned because of YouTube. You won't get. They better not ban you, Vanessa. But kind of interesting on the whole tax thing up there in Chicago.
Not cool.
It was posted on that and everything. See how that goes. Never a fan of taxes, that's for sure.
No.
Let's see here. Then we also had the Iowa merger. So let me get that pulled up here too.
Yeah, that looked really cool because it's at like an old Wonder Bread, and a listener of my show actually sent me this note. So I got to give a big thanks to them. But there's like Single Speed Brewing, and they're gonna it's gonna be a collaboration with 2 different breweries, Peachtree and Back Pocket, and it's gonna be in an old Wonder Bread facility. This looked kind of cool. So it's called the Brewery at Wonder Bread. So I don't know. Maybe you can get some Wonder Bread off on the side. Maybe you can get you a loaf of white while you're there as you're drinking some beer. But this looks pretty cool in Waterloo.
So behind the sign, it must say Hostess Cakes, because Wonder Bread owned Hostess, I know.
Yeah.
At one point. So yeah.
Maybe you do like a Twinkie ale or something. I don't know.
Maybe. I don't know about they might do a snowball stout. I was never a fan of the snowballs though. That was
I love me some snowballs.
It had the flakiness from the coconut type stuff. I couldn't mess with it. No sir.
You know what? I love
Twinkie.
It. They were gone. You can't find them anymore. Remember the Hostess crumb cakes?
I do remember those.
Those were good. I killed those. Yeah.
And then I remember when Hostess used to have a thing called, what is that? My thing. Hold on. All of a sudden, I had music playing in my ear.
I didn't hear it.
Okay, it was just coming through. It came through from the video in the background for a reason. Hostess used to make Suzy Q. You remember those?
Yeah,
they were the
Suzy Q's
and the white
Ding Dongs.
You can't find them anymore. Yeah, you can't find those anymore.
Yeah, I didn't
look
for
It's like Woody Harrelson trying to find Twinkies in Zombieland. I used to
Well,
love
they had
those
what?
Suzy Q's.
Ding dongs and Suzy Q's were pretty much the same thing, just a different shape.
Well, Suzy Q's were like a cake with
Yeah.
the white in between, but the ding dongs were round up. They were like along like a cylinder with and it was like more of a harder chocolate, I guess you could say, on the outside than what it was.
And then the Hostess cupcakes, the regular cupcakes. Yeah, those were good.
That's like the orange cupcakes, the chocolate cupcakes, and the vanilla birthday ones, and some other ones. So, yeah.
Oh, the apple pie. Who didn't knock off a couple Hostess apple pies back in
I
the day?
was a lemon guy. I was a lemon guy. I was
Oh,
a
yeah,
lemon guy.
lemon.
Yeah. I was always after the lemon.
Yeah.
Oh, those brought that's some memories from 7th and 8th grade
Yeah.
back in the day, getting some of those Hostess snacks. I remember going as a kid going to camp back in the day, and you go to camp and they go. We did. I don't know if they still go to camp so much like we did when we were growing up, but you go to camp for like a week or whatever, right? And you go there, you were a tent, and you got a camp counselor. I mean, it was kind of like that Friday 13th type setting. And it was always like the counselors to be like taking your shit, like coming up with some Twinkies, like they're gonna end up trying to take all your Twinkies because they're like, "What your mom pack for your food in there?"
Yeah.
I'm like, "What are you gonna do? You're like a kid. You can't take on the counselor at that point." But I remember them taking my Twinkies. I did not like it.
Oh, man. Next year, you got to come in packing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Vanessa she was a cherry pie gal. So there you go. The Hostess cherry. Let me see here. She was banned from a channel because I commented on a Halloween costume in 2019. And you got banned for it? I wonder what you said about the Halloween costume. They got you banned.
Yeah.
That had to be another interesting Vanessa story.
Yeah.
The Budweiser Brewery in Fort Worth next to the Bimbo factory, Bimbo owned by Wonder Bread. Okay. Well, we talked the last show about the 3 Budweiser plants that are closing.
Yeah.
So that's all taking place too. But yes, we had the Iowa merger. And then also, this was a surprising one for me in that we've both had this beer. And I didn't hate the beer. I thought the beer was decent. I thought it was good. But to be the top beer chosen kind of took me by surprise here.
Yeah.
And of course, we're talking about the Union Jack. And this was at an event over there in Brussels where they said officially the #1 American beer according to the judges that were at this event. So we've got much love for Firestone Walker and what they actually do. When we got the variety pack, Union Jack was not one of my favorites before. So it just surprises me that it came out that high over there.
And you don't know like how many breweries actually enter this or what they send. But I mean, it's not a bad beer. I mean,
no, not
definitely, no, it's a solid beer.
But to say the #1 American beer.
Yeah.
And it's like at that time for what you had entered.
Yeah.
Okay, it wasn't #1 American. Now, if you would have had a wider spectrum, maybe, because we don't know who was all entered in, it could have been different. And again, this isn't a shade on Firestone Walker. It's just a surprising thing when I saw
mean, they should have sent him some Wookiee Jack because that would have knocked off Union.
Yeah. I would take the Wookiee over the Union Jack any day.
Oh, yeah.
But they ended up. But congrats to them for being selected. They do a great bang up job, and we've been fortunate, like I said, to enjoy some of their beers they've sent out and checking out some of the stuff they're doing. So definitely recommend giving it a try. But like I said, just a little surprised when I saw that one pop up there. And then we get into stuff. So here's some stuff to get into, and this will be a little bit more detailed, so to speak, as far as conversation wise. We'll talk about 7 stories from 2025 that the beer industry was buzzing about, right? So had a lot of different things happening this year.
Oh, yeah.
By the end of the year, as we get to it. First, when they talk about, and it was kind of a weird title, it says Trump take beer sales. I'm like, what? Like, that makes no sense. Like, to be Trump tank beer sales, maybe? Or whatever like that, with everything that was happening with the cost of aluminum, the tariffs, the steel, all of that really put a hurt on the beer industry in some way. And then you had the down drinking of people not drinking as much that also come into play. But they kind of looked here where some of the stuff coming out of the administration added to that pain being felt by the beer industry. So kind of an interesting aspect for that first part there. Although, as mentioned, it's the second Trump administration, but we knew the first time they had the tariff thing going too. So it should have been kind of baked into the cake, so to speak. Like we knew something would probably end up happening. But
this was like extreme though.
Yeah, this has been extreme. And when they did it before, it was in 2017, right? So
yeah.
It was basically within his first year. This is also within his first year of the second term, but it'll be interesting to see how far it pushes out because this one has come to be more impactful than it did the first time. And the first time I know that like the spirits industry, which we'll talk about Jim Beam here in a little bit too, they took $1 billion hit the first tariffs that went around. So could it be more this time? Well, apparently the first time, if we want to go into the Jim Beam thing, we can go into the Jim Beam thing now because Jim Beam never had to shut down in 2017 or 2018 for a year, which they're calling for now, which is kind of crazy because Jim Beam is kind of like that stable bourbon that everybody kind of knows. And people might not say it's the best bourbon or the greatest bourbon, but everybody has it somewhere or knows it. And it's kind of like, I don't want to downtrod it like it's the common man bourbon, but it's kind of like that working man type bourbon type thing. So if they've got to shut down, then what does that mean for all your other bourbons out there? What does that mean? How's the maker's mark going to be affected? How's going to be some of these other ones going to be hit out there as well? Is Jim Beam that canary in the coal mine, so to speak? So that's interesting.
Yeah, and it's, it just seems like there's like 2 or 3 companies that own the majority of the bourbon makers that are out there. But that just really like struck me like Jim Beam's going to shut down in Kentucky for a year. I mean, obviously they have enough stuff that's already made. It's not like beer where, you make a batch every, other day if you're, a big Budweiser or whatever. I mean, this is stuff that's been sitting and aging and it's going to continue to do so. But I mean, that's jobs, that's, product on the shelf.
Mm-hmm.
That's not good.
Well, you look at Canada being our number one trading partner in that area, and they pull stuff off the shelves, and they've got a stockpile, but they're not selling it, right? So Jim Beam isn't getting any profits and stuff. So they're not ordering anymore. So it's kind of like they're getting screwed heavily because our top trader partner is not calling, hey, we need to get more shipments up here. It'll be interesting. Like I said, Jim Beam is that one that's kind of there for everybody, but then you have to start wondering about so many other brands, how they're going to be affected.
Yeah. I mean, like Jim Beam is like Jack Daniels. It's there. Yeah. You could get it anywhere you go. Anywhere that sells liquor, you're going to be able to find like Jim Beam, Jack Daniels. I mean, those are like the staples.
Yeah. And I mean, you look at price-wise, like Jim Beam, a bottle of Jim Beam with the 750 milliliter, is that what the size is for that? For like your regular bottle, I think. And you're paying, I don't know, $20, $25 in that ballpark. It's a lower end cost for your basic Jim Beam. And if they got to shut down, and you're looking at Evan Williams, you're looking at Maker's Mark, you're looking at some of these bigger brands where they're into the 40, 50. Look at, Pappy has a select market for it, but could Pappy be effective, right? Like, you don't know, like these higher things, as people talk about the affordability of stuff, there's things start to fall out where people aren't buying them as much either. So
there was a thing I was reading on the New York Times, and it had nothing to do with liquor, but like you mentioned Pappy, and they were talking about the price of beef being so high. And anybody that's gone to the grocery store and bought beef, you know what I'm talking about. Like, you look at a package of beef, you're like, how much? It's gone crazy. But they were talking about steakhouses, and they were like, your higher end steakhouse, the customer that's going to a high-end steakhouse is not going to care if you charge an extra $10-$20 a steak. You're already dropping, a car payment on a dinner. But it's like your mid to lower range places, like your Outbacks. Like, remember back in the day, we had like Bonanzas and Ponderosas. They're like, and people just aren't going to these places anymore because they can't afford the extra hit on a steak. And the companies can't afford to like take a loss. So your places like, what is it, Longhorn, I believe, and Outback are really getting hurt buy this. So it's probably the same with bourbon. Like people that are drinking Pappy, you're already spending way more on a bottle of bourbon than we do in beer. You know, it's not going to affect the Pappy drinker, but the Jim Beam drinker, yeah, it's going to make a dent.
Yeah. Yeah, it's going to be interesting to keep an eye on to see how that all definitely plays out because, like I said, it's a select market when you start getting up to those higher price type bottles. But for your mainstream, if they're getting hit where companies might be taking their product off, they're not going to be able to step up to get the bigger bottles. So, yeah, it's it'll be interesting. So that's definitely been having an effect. But this is something, you know, we did the tariff show earlier in the year. We kind of saw it coming down the pipe and put it out there for people to take notice and stuff. So it's for us, I think, and for the guests we had on, it's not a huge surprise. This is kind of taking place. But at the same point, it's like we never saw anybody have to shut down for a year. Everybody kind of just scaled back or whatever and kind of rode it out. So this is a little bit more of an interesting twist.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then the second part, the second story, was the retreat of the macro brewers, as noted in the story. And this is from Vine Pair for those of you watching as well.
Yeah.
The piece here. And basically, you know, we had the Molson Coors shutting down Leinenkugels, which was definitely historic in that way, because with that brewery, whether you're a Leinenkugels fan or not, the historical presence of Leinenkugel and that brewery and then being shut down by Molson Coors was just a, you know, big brother took the toy away from little brother type situation. And it was like done. So it was sad to actually see that, and that community got hit hard because that was like a big thing for the community too.
Oh yeah.
It was huge there, but you start having to pull back there. You have stuff with, Anheuser-Busch and Bev starting to pass away some things. They're cutting their portfolio back, and half of it now going to Tilray brands. New Belgium being affected. You're seeing a lot of these big hits from some of these ones that came under the macro brewery umbrella. So now they're starting to pull back from it, which is kind of almost like you had what did we have? We had I think it was 10 Barrel that broke away back from AB and Bev, but a lot of them were like under them, and then it's kind of like, instead of being cut loose like 10 Barrel and getting back on their own, it was kind of like, no, we're just shutting you down type thing we've had in places. So that's been a huge thing that's been taking place. And then like they have Pabst here queuing up to promising new light lager launch. They promptly laid off the new brewer's lead and then basically pulled back on their stuff there too. So it's interesting. So even the macro breweries weren't immune to some of the things that were taking place.
Yeah, and even like Pabst, like they still have that deal at my grocery store. Like you could buy a 30-pack of PBR for like $14 and get a $10 rebate. How are they making any money?
They're not. That's what they call like a lost lead, right? Lost leader. Yeah. So it's like we're taking the hit on it, but we're hoping to get other stuff in.
But how are you making the money up at Pabst? I mean, you're not selling that much soup or any of the other stuff. I know they got a new video game, arcade video game that actually does look pretty good that PBR's putting out. But where are they making money?
The other point would be a fire sale just to get it out of inventory. Just take what we can get on it, you know, and then we're done. Which could be part of their plan as well. Yeah. But even they mentioned Constellation brands in here and what they've actually been affected on. Kind of interesting on that. Then they also make mention on here consolidation of the middle tier, whether it was voluntary or otherwise. So you had some of the middle regional type things that kind of gotten pulled in under this as well, with some of the things taking place. You also have like here where it makes mention like the RDT brands starting to come out there as well. So kind of interesting to see. And again, this goes back to the big, beautiful bill they talk about in this part here, where it kind of led to some basically restructuring inside of ththese companies that kind of put the hurdle on some of these other parts of it. Southern Glazer's Wine and Spirits sold its only owned distributorship in New York to the mega wholesale in August. And while AB and Bev was laying in the wood to independent bud distributors over Les out of code sales of Busch Light Peach, they were selling the old shit, man. Well, you know, out of code sales. Among other fractions, people did like that Busch Light Peach from what I was hearing though, but I guess even the old Peach was still good. So I don't know. It's interesting to see what's taking place there. Then of course, this is a big one now with the hemp beverage industry. The things that are taking place there, THC grabbing more space, but now THC might be facing their own uphill battle. Depending what state you're in, it was taking place there as well. But it did upset the apple cart this year because people were like, oh, I can do this instead of doing that. And I'll feel this way instead of that way the next morning. And so people went down the THC road, with whether or not it's the not having to face maybe a hangover, which if you're worried about getting a hangover, maybe you're drinking too much that night. Just throw that out there, right? So, you could drink and not to worry about a hangover if you're not over drinking. But then THC was pulling some stuff back, but now they might be getting pushed to the side. So
in Ohio they will. In your state, it's going to be.
In Ohio, it's going to be interesting. So here in Ohio, the governor put a 90-day line veto on it. The thing is, the veto can be overturned by the state legislature. 2/3 they can overturn it, which the state legislature, just like the governor, they're all Republican on that side. Well, not the whole state legislature, but the majority of it. And they're getting a lot of stuff from their constituents about how it's hurting the industry here and how they're expected to be taking these major losses. So it'll be interesting to see how that plays out. They've overturned the governor on other things in the past, but they are definitely getting pressured to not let this happen. So that's something to keep an eye on here for sure, to see how that all plays out. But even not just here, other states are kind of facing stuff out there too. Even California was trying to do THC. It's like, whoa, you're California. You're supposed to be relaxed, laid back, go with the
They know how to party.
Right.
I mean,
Go ahead. It's just like, why are you guys acting this way now? What happened out here in California?
Yeah.
So
somebody's palm's not getting greased enough.
Yeah.
That's with Ohio, California. Somebody's not greasing the palm.
Yeah, it mentioned California and Texas. Texas, I can understand Texas being that way, but California, it's shocking. So, and hopefully, it doesn't hit like a Colorado or something like that. Though Colorado's
not going anywhere.
They become more like California, but nobody thought you could ever be more like the California.
Yeah,
but which would be great because I'm actually talking with our friend Julie to have her come on here hopefully the next month or so.
Oh, sweet.
We'll be talking about some of the stuff and the launch of her Kick Fizz brand as well. So stay tuned for that. Yeah.
Peggy had some Kick Fizz and Peggy really enjoyed it.
Awesome. Well, I'd say here in Ohio, people were stockpiling it out of the stores. So, because before they had to get to that 90-day, everything had to be gone. So interesting. And then the twilight of the first wave. This was an interesting piece because obviously more recent, the big name was Rogue, shutting down their stuff, but you also had True, and then you had Upright Brewing out of Oregon, which I was not as familiar with, but True and Rogue, two dominant names in the industry, more so Rogue for sure. Everybody, like, if you've done craft beer for any number of years, you had to have Rogue at some point. Like everybody did, right? Ale. You had to have something of theirs, and to see them actually have to shut down and go, that just like caught people off guard. Then you had like how much money they were in debt, because we thought initially it was like $5 million. You found out it was like 500 million or something. It was a crazy number.
Like $5 million wasn't even their rent that they owed. Like
but it's kind of like, and Jim Cook had to come back to Sam Adams, but they almost got themselves in a hole with the whole Truly thing. And one day Truly's on top of the world. Next thing you know, it's getting stepped on by everybody, right? So
like Truly was right behind what was it, White Claw. Like when Seltzer started coming around, like 2020. I mean, it came out a few years before that, but Truly wasn't that far behind White Claw, and they kind of just got step aside, son. White Claw's coming through, and everyone else, and like. Yeah, Truly, like, I don't know. I mean, you see it out there, but when was the last time anybody bought a Truly?
Yeah, that's the thing, right?
I mean, with Jim Cook, I mean, they're still making money off that Twisted Tea. That's probably their leading money maker.
Yeah, the Twisted Tea still sells,
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, your point there was led to the other one that's listed here too. Like, when's the last time anybody did it? It's the same thing with Anchor, because Anchor's listed on here.
Yeah.
Seeing them how to get down. They actually went down last year, but they haven't made a mention in here. It's kind of just talking about when they went down. And again, our friend over there at the Greek yogurt purchasing them, but hasn't really done anything with them yet. So,
yeah, the latest thing I read with that was like he was talking about just pulling out of San Francisco and contract brewing. Like that defeats the whole purpose of Anchor. You bought the name, you bought the building. It's a San Francisco company. If you're going to contract brew that anywhere else, I don't know if I'm buying it.
Well, it's a San Francisco icon too.
Yeah.
But it says no one here. Through tipsters telling me they're starting to see a few signs of life at the San Francisco firm. So we'll see.
Yeah.
They're keeping an eye on it.
Yeah, and the guy who wrote this article, Dave Infante, his fingers on the pulse of everything. So if tipsters are telling him, he knows something. Yeah.
And I had a chance to meet Dave earlier this year. And I was at the Ohio conference, and it was awesome. Yeah, he's definitely right on it. He's like, ace reporter out there, on the man on the beat, so to speak. So, and then we had the march of the ready to drinks. RTD just came in ablaze. If it wasn't the NA, it was like the RTD was probably the second biggest story you were hearing about. So many more people were kind of turning that way as a competition for what beers facing, whether it's a twisted tea, whether it's some of these RDT cocktail. Like I got a couple of videos coming out on the Off the Rocks cocktail series and a few of the things they're doing. It's $9.99. You get a 20% drink ABV, and it's just like a nice, cool cocktail to chill with, right? So you're looking at that versus some of the craft beer prices. You're like, well, I'll just get this, and I'll just sit here and watch a movie or chill, or whatever I want to do. You had the Surfside, the Sun Cruiser. They're talking about here in the article, but Cutwater making their name. Cutwater's was a big name this year. People were seeing them grow. So you're seeing a lot of these RTDs start to take up space. And, when you go into some of your stores, your grocery store, your beer store, you've got some pretty good cooler space now dedicated to RTDs. Yeah. I mean,
I'm sorry, I was just making a face. I just opened up an NA, one of these. We were just talking about it. This is Sierra Nevada's Trail Pass Hazy. When I opened it, I'm like, somebody smoking weed in this? I mean, I'm in my office. There's no one in here smoking weed. I'm like, what the fuck is that smell? And this does not smell good.
It doesn't smell good, or is it just too too resiny? Because resiny would be the weed smoke that you weed.
Yeah, it doesn't smell good.
It's funky, like a funky aroma.
I mean, it tastes better than it smells, but
what's the date on the candy? Does it have it on it?
I'm gonna spill the rest of this shit.
I thought you put it all in the glass.
Yeah. It's not that bad. Only like a couple months old.
Okay.
Well, there goes my Sierra Nevada sponsorship. All right, let's go back to the ready to drink, because I'm ready to drink right now after this.
Well, yeah, so you had the RTD stuff taking place, and then going through here, the Suds for Chuds market hit a ceiling. I guess they're talking about, kind of with some of the celebrity type things they're doing, but like it makes mention like Hulk Hogan dying, and then Real American Brand. They got a little surge after he died because of people feeling sentimental, but they've been struggling a little bit since then. That ultra right, 100% woke free. I don't know what they're going to do with that thing, because I'm like, you were charging people like 25 something for a 6,
and they didn't even make it. They haven't even made it.
They didn't even make it, right? And with shipping,
it was just a grift.
Plus. Yeah.
That's just a grift. Yeah.
And I remember Armed Force Brewing, they ran into issues where they were at, because I want to say they were in, I think, South Carolina, and some of the people in that community came out about some of the stuff they were down there. And I don't know if it was like anti-LGBT or something else they were doing down there, but they ran into stuff in that community as well. So they were in trouble as well. So some of these ones out here, I mean, there's nothing I was going to be drawn to drink any of these for the most part anyway, but it's just kind of like they kind of, with all, I guess, probably the way that things are set now, as far as some of the battles we're seeing, so to speak, and being craft beer is probably more left and right. They're probably feeling a little bit of the hits because people aren't coming out there to drink their stuff. So
Yeah.
and then the people that might come drink it, they're struggling to pay for whatever they got to pay for. So yeah, it's kind of interesting for this year. This is Apocalypse Now. This part here talked about the basically
the
trying to kill
THC, which we
cannabis.
talked about.
Yeah, he's trying to kill the whole cannabis type thing under the newer stuff. So,
But then they just moved it from
Schedule 3.
He just moved weed to like a lower class. So who knows? It changes daily.
Yeah, they went from Schedule 1 to Schedule 3, but it's still not legal. But the penalties that would be assigned to it if somebody got in trouble for it wouldn't be as strong. But it's a mixed match. It's like, what day of the week is it? Okay, we're going this way today. So, but that's been kind of some crazy, and then it has like the ups and the downs. Talking about some of the different beer companies, some upside. Alamo Beer acquired by SKJ Capital, Clean Alcohol Collective around ingredient transparency, which is good. I'm all about that there for sure. But then it has some of the downs that took place, like the hemp farmers in Washington State are delivering whether to switch back over to hops. Which is not ideal for the supply issue, which we have a thing on the hemp farmers to talk about here too, as well, I believe. So
I pulled that up. I have that in case you couldn't get into that.
Yeah. So some interesting pieces on that took place. And then what I'm going to do, since we just talked about the hemp, I'm going to jump over to the hemp one. So I'll pull that up here, and I'll go back to the Brewers Association. Let's see here. There we go. Which is actually going to be something pretty interesting. Now, you may know more because I think you had the Brewbound.
I've got the website up here. Yeah.
I mean, if you would have pulled up on your, because mine's going to just give you that insider, stay informed, be competitive type thing. So,
but I mean, the article here was talking like not about us as consumers, but the farmers, who the farmers are getting hit, and especially like people that were starting to grow hemp, because you had this market for the THC beverages, the gummies, everything that was under the last farm bill in, 2017, 2018, whenever the last farm bill came out. Now these people, they don't know what they're going to do. I mean, it's not just something, I mean, this is something that's planned out years ahead of time. So if this thing actually goes through in November, like, you need to start planning now for what you're going to plan for 2027. You need to have all the wheels in motion. So,
you got to get everything in and get it laid, planned.
I mean, I'm sure everything was already set up for hemp in 2026, but what are you going to do in the future? And I know with tariffs and everything else, like, we had to give farmers a bailout. Go figure. Right. So what's going to happen with this? Are they going to go to different products? Are, like you mentioned in Oregon, they're going to, some of them are just going to start going back to hops, but now you have people that aren't drinking as much. So is even that going to be profitable? I mean, you just might have to go to some other grain, and we'll see how this cycles out, but you might have hop shortages and you might have hemp shortages coming up in the next couple of years. It's not going to hit us now, but looking like down the road another year or two, it's not good. And there was a thing from the Kentucky Hemp Association, and they were just saying it's going to have a devastating impact on the farmers and small businesses by destroying genetics developed to conform to the definition under the 2018 Farm Bill. So, I mean, it's just not good for like the working people, the farmers. The farmers are what built this country, and now, they don't know what to grow, anything. It's just messed up.
That's because the people that are doing it have never farmed in their life. So, it's going to be something to keep an eye on there. And the one I just opened up this one, which I actually forgot I had these in the cooler. It's always fun to find
How
a beer.
big is your cooler if you forget you have something there?
Well, I got the one here.
Mine, I don't have room to forget.
I got the one here.
Rod J beer cooler. Like, oh shit, I haven't
another
seen
one
this.
back there now. Yes, I got this one, and I got another one over there now. But it was from Boulevard, our friends out in Missouri, and it is their Boulevard rum barreled pecan imperial brown ale, and it is really good. I forgot I had 13.5 ABV, and it's it's got like this pecan pie with the whipped cream on top, and it is definitely a nice dessert feel beer. To find an imperial brown ale with some flavor, it's not an easy thing to do anymore.
I actually just did, and I haven't posted it yet. I did a triple imperial 5-year-old beer that was from Hop and Frog and was done with Pete Schlossberg from Pete's Wicked Ale.
Oh, wow.
I had that 5 years ago. My buddy had like, oh, I've got this here. And I'm like, dude, how old is that? And I looked, it's a 5-year-old beer. He's like, I'll just take it. And he handed me an Anchor. I'm like, dude, you got to drink more. I mean, you got this shit in your fridge. But the triple Imperial Pete's held up well 5 years later.
Wow. Hop and Frog does some fantastic beers. So I definitely recommend people checking them out for sure. Let's see here. Pull this up. So we also had a recap, which was done by the Brewers Association, the Year of Beer 2025. And interesting numbers. People were kind of freaking out. Oh, it's over. Beers are going down. The number of small and independent breweries in operation they had totals 9778. It really didn't go down that much at all, if anything, actually. I think last year was more around 94, 95. I think, and last year we were down 40, I think.
Yeah.
I think this year, by the end, we might be even up a little bit more.
No, it said like,
or is it?
There were 268 openings and 434 closings. So definitely took a small hit. But
so we finally probably hit that 10,000, bumped our head on the ceiling, and it came back down.
Yeah.
Yeah. But 97, 78, I remind people, in like I think it was 83 or 84, we only had like 350 basically breweries in the country.
Oh, yeah. Even look at like 10 years ago. It's probably more than doubled. Actually, one of the people in this piece, Matt, who's the economist over at the Brewers Association, I think I'm going to have him on in a couple weeks, working out the details on getting him on and going to talk more about like the numbers. And, I don't see the sky falling. I kind of see this as you're just kind of thinning the herd, leveling things out, and we're going to go from there. But I think everyone talks the sky is falling. I don't see it that way.
Yeah, I commented on someone's video a few weeks ago. They had a chat, and somebody was saying the bubble was bursting. Or like, there's no bubble bursting. If you have any knowledge of the business cycle, this is just basically the contraction that takes place.
Yeah,
we got expanded a lot of stuff out there, a lot of breweries, and it was just, I can basically say it was just too many to meet the appetite of your drinkers. So as people started drinking less, and you also had some of the affordability costs coming in, that was going to lead to some contraction in some places, right? Yeah. So it's just part of that business type cycle. 97, 78 is still a pretty healthy number to have for the breweries. And here, I know in Ohio, we were, I think, like a 420 is where we're at now for so far. It might be on or off one or two.
You can't say 420 in Ohio after your governor.
Don't. Yeah, but I remember last year we were just approaching 400, so I think we did have like a little bit of a net gain there as well. Let's see here. Employment, 443,000 jobs nationwide, fostering the local economies and creating opportunities. Contribution of $72.5 billion to the U.S. economy. What they see is some of the trends. There was a constant consolidation factor, which, like you said, we just had the one story with the 3 breweries coming together. I like the consolidation when I see like 3 independents coming together versus a big boy coming in and taking one over, because that usually doesn't always have that positive thing at the back end where it's almost like, okay, now we're going to do this. You want you to use this ingredient instead of that ingredient because that'll help profit margin, but turns the beer to shit somewhat. So having like independents coming together and knowing the battle and knowing the journey, I think is better. New approaches to hospitality. This is something we talked about through the course of the year. It's like, it's not about you just make good beer anymore. You got to have a reason for people to come to your breweries. You have to be that part of hospitality now. You got to make it entertaining. You got to give, you're fighting with the consumer for dollars against restaurants, against going to a ball game, going to Top Golf, going to all these other different places. You have to give them a reason to want to actually come there. And then the growth in the low ABV was a big factor that took place this year, which for those breweries that did adapt, they are seeing some good results coming out when they have that NA option or a low ABV option. Or for a company like Go Brewing that says, hey, if you don't want to make it, we'll just contract with you and we'll provide our stuff to your people. That's been a benefit as well.
Well, look, I pulled up the raw data from the Brewers Association, and we have twice as many breweries that we did 10 years ago. In 2015, we were close to 5,000. We're close to 10,000 now, and the number stayed pretty stagnant. We've been in the 9,000 range since COVID. So you have to look from like 2015 to 2020, you almost doubled. So it's been leveling off, but there's not many businesses that can get a double in growth and continue to going. Sometimes there's just, this is leveling, and now we're going to see who stays, who goes. But for a beer drinker like we are, there's never been a better time. There's so many good places out there, and many of them are within a chip shot away or a walk away from just getting some good, solid beer that we couldn't get 20 years ago.
Right. And that's what some people, I think, fail to either remember or fail to know of how good things are right now in the beer world. And to be a beer drinker now, it's like you couldn't ask for a better time with all the different stuff being done and the experimentations and just the different things that are coming out. I mean, it's crazy. It's a great experience. And shout out to Ryan in the house as well, Cincy Brew Dads. Cincy Brew Dads, another great channel to follow. Pecan pie beer, it is awesome. It is awesome. I didn't mention this one last night during the show because I forgot I actually had it up, but I didn't fully rate it out yet because I didn't put the review up. So, but yeah, as far as a beer to have this year, it's one of the top ones as well. He said one of the highlights of the Higher Gravity Beer Event calendar from this year. Yeah, if you can get your hands on this one, definitely recommend. I still got the Neapolitan beers I got to do for them as well. Boulevard's always doing some nice stuff out there. And, they had their own issue last year, and they worked it through with the employees taking control. That's why I didn't, pull away from Boulevard. And the employees were like, no, we got it covered. Give us a shot. We're going to blah, blah, blah. And they handle what they need to handle. Take note, founders. And then they were able to, keep things going. So, major events also, Great American Beer Fest, 28,000 attendees and featured 2,000 plus beers from 386 producers. Remember, a couple years ago, they were basically trying to figure out what to even do there because their beer numbers were down so low. That's when they started getting more of the RTDs in and more of the spirits, but it was kind of like they were like almost looking like at a battle after COVID. And now look how much they have. 2,000 plus beers are still coming in. So they're still having some success. The World Beer Cup, 8,300 entries in that from the 49 countries across the globe. And you also had beer weeks, communities across the U.S. had American Craft Beer Week, which we know there were different states doing that here. And it's been good. So it's not as bad as what some people will make you think it is out there. Like the sky is not falling. It's not Chicken Little right now. It's just basically going through the contraction phase of a business cycle, and it'll go through, and basically you probably need it because we got some craft breweries that are making some beers. You're like, So, we start to get those out and we start to move other ones in and kind of go from there and stuff.
Thin the herd out a little bit. I mean, you had people that were getting into it for money reasons and not for beer reasons. So I think you eliminate them and we'll get more brewers into this. I'm excited. I think we're still sitting in butter over here.
Butter.
Yeah.
Cheers, Az. What's going on,
Hey.
homie? Happy Merry Christmas and happy holidays to you as well. And yes, too many great options. I mean, there's a lot of great options. Actually, Az is down there with Todd in the Louisville area. I just saw what's the one brewery? One of the breweries down there has a funky option coming out. It's with Gallon Fox. If you get a chance, check out Gallon Fox. They just had a release coming up this past weekend as well on a new beer they were doing. I just returned from Jungle Gyms. I try to stay out of that place because if I go there, it's just like, don't let me go in here with the card. Take the card, honey. Don't let me have the card. So I go in here, everything's coming out with me. Yeah. 2 nice stouts there from Perennial, Artisanal, and Mass Landon. See, you pay a visit. I could. Last time I went there with Todd and Shannon, it was just like carts were full. I was like, what am I going to put all this stuff? You know, I'm trying to get stuff out of the cellar. When I go there, it's always adding stuff to the cellar. But I got to go back to my Kroger tomorrow. And if that Bourbon County Stout's on draft again, I'll probably grab a glass of that while I'm shopping. $8 for a 12-ounce pour. Yeah.
Yeah. There you
Makes sense. Yeah. Makes it hard to choose. Sometimes it does.
That's true. Yeah.
Thank you, sir. Yes. Yeah. Hopefully you guys having a great holiday weekend down there. And hopefully as we get you up here for the beer fest, I know Todd told you about it in February. So keep posted on that. But yeah, so it's like the sky's not falling. It's just the things that's happening right now. This one here, let's see. So this is kind of interesting too. So again, we don't really get heavy political on here, but it's almost like the elephant in the room where you got to talk about it at points, right? So, so this piece was actually ran out there. It came out of the Yucatan Times, but Trump's immigration policies linked to decline in Mexican beer sales in the U.S. Well, I mean, I can see the parallel if you're, deporting a lot of the Mexican Americans or Mexican immigrants and they drink the Mexican beer, then sales are going to be down some. But it's kind of interesting just because last year Modelo became like the #1 beer, right? And then now it's taking a hit. Well, you have less people that can probably drink a Modelo because they're not here to really drink it, or people aren't coming out to get it because they might not be able to get back home if they come out to get it. It's kind of interesting. But Constellation was talking about the numbers there and how they're actually being affected there as well. And I think did Modelo get passed off by Mick Ultra as the #1 beer now in the country?
I think so. I think I read that too. Yeah.
So Mick Ultra I think is #1 now, but I can see what they would say. There's definitely an effect that's taking place along those lines. I mean, they still got some of their popularity. I mean, people will drink a Corona. I know people will drink a Pacifico. I think Modelo is kind of the main one. A lot of people like to drink, but it's interesting. It's just, it's kind of a crazy type thing to see. They're talking about it here for decades, Mexican beers being a staple of the U.S. market and how these decisions can now ripple through the beer community. But it's like nothing lives in a vacuum anymore. So when shit like that happens, it's like, it affects industries and stuff. So sad to see for sure in that regard. And then you get fatheads up where you're at as well, right?
No, we really don't. Like once in a blue moon, I see it, but I know like they're extremely popular. The stuff that I have had has been outstanding, but I can't just go to my bottle shop and pick it up. Okay.
All right. I thought for sure they were in Illinois. But Fatheads has now decided to release some new beers and talk about NA. They also are bringing out the non-alcoholic line. So they're jumping into the NA realm as well. They're bringing out the 3 beers that are listed here, I believe. Yeah, the new Excursion Brewing. Oh, I mean, no, it's not that. Where'd it go? Headhunter. Hazy Headhunter IPA, because they have the Headhunter, so they got a hazy coming out early March, also debut in early October. Fresh hopped Headhunters. Oh, they have a fresh hop version, which would be pretty good. And then let's see. No, this is theirs. Okay, the new Excursion Brewing Company. Well, no, that's under Buckeye Brewing. No, wait a minute. Okay. These are separate stories. I thought it was the same story, but these are separate ones here. The New Excursion Brew Company, they're going to have a wild berry, ridge tart raspberry, and an easy peasy Mexican style, and
but those are the Excursion. Looks like it's all NA beers, so that's probably just going to be like an offshoot then.
Yeah, range of non-alcoholic beers. Yeah. And Buckeye Light will be the sole offer from the Buckeye Brewing Company, which Fathead acquired a few years ago. Oh, so Fathead actually owns all of these, but they're putting it out under a different name, it looks like.
Yeah.
With the New Excursion, it's kind of an offshoot from them. It's kind of an interesting way to actually do that, though.
Yeah. I mean, you would think because they have the name, you know, if you were to do something, hey, Fathead NA, just like this Sierra I'm drinking, you know, why put a different name on it? You know, you have a name that people know and trust. Right. But unless they don't want like somebody that's strictly non-alcoholic thinking this is going to be something that's regular. But, you know, I look at it from my point of view. Like I'm a beer drinker. I'm going to grab something from Sierra Nevada, from Deschutes, from, you know, you got that Guinness NA that's good.
Right.
You're going to go to a place that knows how to make beer.
Yeah, it's almost like what do you give up by doing it this way? Because if you've got the name and the trust behind your beers, I would think as a consumer, you might be more apt to try that one versus if you saw, well, I don't know who this Excursion company is. I don't want to mess around and not like it or whatever. But you would think, but if it said Fatheads, you'd be like, oh, I'll give it a shot. Fatheads usually does a pretty good job.
I mean, unless, you know, they have the Fathead name on it, like Excursion from Fatheads. I don't know what their branding is going to look like.
Right. I would definitely want to tie back to that power, though.
Yeah.
But they also have the Crumbleberry, Cinnamon, and Vanilla Honey Blueberry Ale, which was previously a limited release in 2025, will now be year-round. That could be something to definitely take a nice Crumbleberry Cinnamon. Yeah, that might be something to try. Limited variety 12-pack feature 4 beers in the Bumbleberry family.
Nice.
Joining the original Honey Blueberry with the Crumbleberry, Stumbleberry, Imperial Blueberry, and exclusive to the pack Bumble Shandy. Availability late April to late August. Okay, so they got some stuff happening. So
yeah,
Fatheads, people love Fatheads in Ohio. They put up some pretty good stuff, and you know, I volunteered their booth a few times at the beer fest, and lines are usually in pretty good distance for people that want to try their beer. So kudos to them in that regard.
Well, I'm going to have you grab the next segment because I got to do something real quick. I'll be right back.
Okay. He's got to do something. So let's see here. Let me slide on down. Okay, so there was actually a piece that came out in VinePair that I'll share with you guys here, which is kind of interesting. Yeah, I agree. The Crumbleberry definitely has my interest as well. And they asked 11 brewers what they thought might be some of the next big things to happen. Pimp My Sleigh, always good too. Yeah, we still got some of the Pimp My Sleigh at Kroger. I may pick up some Pimp My Sleigh tomorrow now that I think about it, because last time I was there earlier this week, they still had some. But they were asking 11 brewers next big style in 2025, right? So again, this is just from 11 that they ask. You ask a different brewer, you get a different answer every time for the most part. But what they came up with the list of here, 5 to 6% pale ales, which I'm pretty sure we already have a good amount of 5 to 6% pale ales, balanced beers, beer flavored beers, put that in quotes because I guess they're trying to get this old feel to it. The black IPAs, I'm all about the black IPAs. Please bring on more black IPAs, and I hope that one is true. We start seeing more of that. You know, Dave mentioned earlier with him drinking a Wookiee Jack, we both had it, and that was a solid rye black IPA. I've had a few other black IPAs that have been really tasty as well, so I would love to see more of those on the market. Heavily bitter IPAs. Now, I don't know how much more heavily you can get. We have a lot of IPAs that do have some upfront bitterness that can be pretty strong, but apparently they're saying might be more some bitter ones they're seeing out there in the forefront. European style lagers, I can see that. I can see where we can get more of those type of beers in play. One of the cool breweries when I was in Baltimore, for the 3 years we were out there that we went to was the Guilford. And Guilford actually ended up buying Flying Fish out of New Jersey. But the cool thing that made Guilford stand out is all their beers were European style. They didn't have like an American IPA, they had an English IPA, but then everything else was pretty much English style beers. And it was always refreshing to go to that brewery because you didn't have like that hazy IPA type crowd or the regular IPA. It was just all like more, I don't want to say it was more defined, but it was more of a different type of presence where you could experiment and find out other different styles where other breweries weren't putting them out. It really makes them stand out. So I would love to see more European style lagers at play. Sessionable, low ABV beers, I can see that. I can see breweries coming out more with table beers, which are usually between your 2 to 3.5% type beers. I can see those coming into play. I can see more of the Munich style Helles coming out. They've been becoming more popular at a lot of different events and a lot of different festivals where people have really been enjoying those beers. Oktoberfest this year here in Cincinnati, when I was down there at that, I've seen a lot of the people really enjoying some of the Helles from some of the different local breweries. Single origin beers, classic lagers with American hops. I think that can easily be a great thing. We used to have the, it was that whole thing. Is this a pale lager or is this a cold IPA? Because it felt like they're both kind of similar. But I love a nice hop bitterness with the lager as well. So I would love to see more of that. And
remember
then,
some of them called them India Pale Lagers?
That's what it was. Yeah. India Pale Lagers.
Yeah.
And then you have the table strength Saisons, which you shouldn't have to really say table strength Saisons because the original Saisons were table. Because it was for the farm workers throwing their breaks.
Oh, yeah.
They couldn't get hammered, so they were drinking like a 3%. We just made them bigger ourselves.
Yeah.
But it should be like true Saisons. Like, that's really where you want to have it at.
Yeah, like a nice, like a Saison, a good farmhouse style that are those low ABVs.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Even like, I don't know if it was on here because I jumped in late. Like English Mild is such a great beer. I mean, I know Rev puts one out, but they're very hard to find. But I remember some like European, they were kind of mild. It wasn't the English mild, but one of the most delicious beers I ever had was like this Lithuanian beer. It was a dark lager. It was only like 2.5 to 3%. But the malt, and it was so flavorful. Like you would definitely like that would be something I would drink every day if I could.
Yeah, I mean, with the old English mild, they weren't like heavy. So yeah, I mean, you can have something like that with lunch, or have it with a sandwich, or whatever. Go right back to work and be fine. So
yeah.
But yeah, so the breweries they asked, like this is the head brewer, Storm Cloud Brewing Company, Frankfort, Michigan. Talking about how they've done so many of the double and the triple barrel aged pastry styles, lagers, pilsners, and blah, blah, blah. So he was saying when he wants his return to the 5 to 6% ales, pale ales. But I'm like, I think you might have been away, but I'm like, I'm pretty sure we have some 5 to 6% pale ales already out there. So it's not like, I mean, maybe where he's at, they're not in demand, but I feel like I still see him in spots. Tim Adams was Oxbow Brewing out of Maine, which I've heard a lot of good things about.
That was one of the ones that was on my top 5 there. They did an Italian Pilsner, Lupolo. Phenomenal beer.
Yeah, and he had noted his one here was Mr. Full-Fledged the more balanced beers. I think is what he is selling his. Yeah. Beer flavor beers. So no, that was Jonathan Porter here with Smog City. I've had Smog City beers. Those are pretty good too out of California. Beer flavor beers, which is kind of just an interesting type thing to actually say. But I guess kind of getting away back from some of the fruitiness and things like that, where it's just like, just give me a beer that's a beer, I guess. So
yeah. But I mean, we've seen that already with your garage beer and your Montucky cold snacks.
Well, I'm saying that's all Montucky does.
Yeah.
Is make a beer flavor beer.
Yeah. And there's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with the nice, crisp, lager.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I tell you what, if Finback is pushing for the black IPAs, I will gobble those up because Finback makes some great beers out of New York. So, definitely want some more black IPAs out there.
Yes.
I haven't heard of Space Cadet brewing before, But this is one, I guess, the real bitterness back into the pitcher. I mean, we're still getting some good bitter beer, I think, but he wasn't heavily bitter.
Yeah.
Vault 202 out of Appleton, Wisconsin. Light, easy drinking European style lagers, mid to low ABV and affordable. I think a lot of people would like that as well.
Yeah, but for distribution, you're not going to really get affordable because all the costs are the same. You still have to pay for the cans and everything else. It's not going to be, because it's low ABV. If you're buying it in cans, it's still going to be high because all the other costs are the same. The labor costs, everything else.
Yeah, you're still going to pay for that. Right.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. 6 Point Brooklyn, another good brewery there. Ultra sessionable and low ABV. Brewery X, that's another good brewery, Adam. So they had some pretty good brewers. I mean, these were all some top-notch breweries that they had kind of got in front of. Don't know about Nightglow in Brooklyn. I'm surprised they didn't go to Garrett, though, in Brooklyn to see what he thought.
Yeah.
Hopsteiner, New York City. So, yeah, it'd be interesting. I don't know what you guys are thinking out there as well, like what you're seeing. What would you like to see more coming down the pike as far as future beers? Let us know as well. Ryan says Street Side does and English. I need to get back over to Street Side. I haven't been over there since I've been back to Cincinnati, but Street Side does some fantastic beers for sure. I want my breweries like Baskin Robbins, the more varieties, the better. Never know what I'll be in the mood for. I can appreciate all of them if they're done well. Yeah. Yeah. It's like the advent calendar. It's like a box of chocolates, right?
Yeah.
You never know what you're going to get.
Yeah.
Just made me think of that reading Ryan's information. Yeah. They should name that like the beer box of chocolate advent calendar.
Yeah.
So that was interesting there. And also here in Ohio, we had a story that was done about the Northeast Ohio's biggest beer and brewery stories. Some of the stuff that took place here, which we had a good amount of stuff happening. This is up by our buddy Ginger Yeti. He's up in Cleveland area, but we've had we had the shutdown of Royal Docks, which was interesting because 2025, so what, about 4 or 5 years ago, Royal Docks was seen as one of the up-and-comers in brewing, maybe right before COVID even, but they were like on the up and up, and then just like the bottom fell out. I mean, worse than like nothing bad like Sycamore's bottom falling out, but they fell out. With Sycamore, there's a bar in North Carolina that's getting some flack right now because they said they weren't going to stop selling Sycamore beer, but they were donating some of the proceeds to the rape thing, but they wanted to support the workers that were actually there, which I can understand that part of it too. But people down there are like, you can't have it both ways. You can't, this pedophile owner.
Wait.
Wife.
I got to stop you right there. Not that that's not serious, but on the thing you have on the screen, if you look at the top right, is that an ad? I just saw Soul Glow. What on the top right?
Here?
No,
like here?
On the right. Yeah, right there. Keep that playing. I thought I saw Soul Glow. I'm like, wait. Is it coming to America?
Coming to America flashback? It's something with a dog.
No, go to the beginning because it said Soul Glow.
No.
It did.
Let me see. I think it's just ads that were going.
All right. Well, it was Soul Glow. I'm like, oh, Eric LaSalle, where are you?
What did happen to that guy?
Yeah.
But for Ohio, Royal Docks was a hit that was taken early this year. But on the upside, a lot of winning big at Great American Beer Fest. 21 medals went to Ohio breweries for the Great American Beer Fest this year, with Fatheads winning 6 of them. We just talked about Fatheads and what they're doing. 5 medals along with one of the prestigious Brewery of the Year honors. So shout out to them. But beer in Ohio has got a good ways to go. The Brew Kettle, keep it moving. Brew Kettle is one I don't think I really talk about them as much on here, but they're another one that's a hidden secret here in Ohio that they really do some pretty good beers as well. Had a chance to meet their owners in the past. But they got a lot of good things that are actually happening. And they acquired Terrestrial Brewing out of Cleveland earlier this year. Also bought and reopened Acronym Brewing. So they're keeping some people alive and keeping some things happening. So shout out to them. Annual list of top 50 craft breweries. Fatheads for the first time, Rheingeist, Brewdog, and Great Lakes Brewing were also all listed there. Although, I don't know, Brewdog's kind of, I don't know about the one in Cincinnati, they closed that one. So we don't even have that one here now. But they have it in Columbus still. So Brewdog's always questionable because they do some stuff that makes them questionable. So I haven't had a Brewdog beer in a while, but yeah.
Yeah, it's been years, but the other Rhine guys, Great Lakes, can't go wrong with them.
Yeah. Northeast Ohio breweries garnered awards in several competitions. 8 Ohio awards, won at Beer Cup with a Mega and Fatheads. An 83 brewery of Akron, Woolly Pig Farm Brewery of Fresno. I have not had anything from them, but I've heard their name out there being mentioned. U.S. Beer Open Championship, Collision Brewing Company. Cleveland Oktoberfest, Fredtoberfest, coveted beer Best of Show. Fatheads won 4 Crushies. Crushies are the awards that we actually do. We're judges for the Crushie Awards, so in different categories. A Fathead won 4 there. Bookhouse Brewing announced it's closing at the end of the year, casualty of financial challenges, but said the owner of Brewer Vaughn will become the brewer at Rocky River, so we're going into another area to reopen. But yeah, I mean, you say you're gonna have some hits, you're gonna have some losses. Let me see here. Magic City started in Barberton in 2017, moved to Akron in 2019, expanded with the Rabbit Hole with the former Arche Brewing, so they're still keeping it moving there. Destination Cleveland, 6th annual Cleveland Brewery Passport Program was the largest yet. 46 breweries participated. So if you're around that area, they have a passport program. You go to different breweries, you can get it stamped, and then you get like different things for doing it. So great opportunity for people to learn about the different breweries. Great Lakes did a revamping of its menu and decor, which I got to get to that brewery at some point.
Oh, I've been there 3 times. I made a trip. And it was like I needed to go to Great Lakes. I needed to go to the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. And I go to ballparks. That's one of the things I do. So I did in a day trip. I did Hall of Fame. I did Great Lakes.
They just show Soul Glow. Okay. Yeah. I'm sorry. Yeah. Okay. Go ahead. Sorry to be cut
Soul Glow, just like we're about this generation. We see Soul Glow. I'm like, wait, is there Soul Glow?
It's a Soul Glow commercial right now. Yeah.
And then I had to do Glow. I can hit that high note, man. And then I had to do well, at the time they were the Cleveland Indians. So, but that was like a great day trip right there because I knocked 3 things off my bucket list in one day.
Well, did you go to Canton for the Football Hall of Fame?
I've been there. Yes, I have.
Okay. I was going to say, if you didn't, you have to come back again for that.
Yeah, no, I did the Canton. That's like, been to Cooperstown, been to Canton, try to get to as many ballparks as I can. It's been a while since I've been to a new one, so I'm definitely due for 2026. But like Cleveland had some shit going on. I mean, it was really cool.
They've done a lot of revamping in Cleveland from what I understand up there too. So, but like the Brew Kettle, I didn't realize it, but 30 years. 1995 was when they started. So they've been kicking it ever since then, which is great. 10 years for Paladin Brewing, 5 years for Ghost Tree Brewing. They have some of the anniversaries on here. Black Frog Brewing, shout out to Chris Harris there. I gotta get up. He does a sweet potato beer that everybody raves about. I gotta get up to Black Frog. Heaven Brewing, Mosaic, Starflyer, Two Friends. So yeah, like you said, there's breweries opening and there's ones that are closing, like listed on here. Voodoo Cleveland Heights. There was also a Voodoo in Cincinnati that closed as well. Tricky Tortoise, Railroad, Mentor. So I mean, that's just the way it goes. The door swings both ways, open and close. So yeah. Some of the favorite sippers. Let's see here. Killer Pills, Haven Brewing, Camper Pale Ale, Market Guard. Market Guard is quietly one of those breweries out there that does some really good stuff. Lock 15 and their Cascade Locks Pale Ale, and Instigator Double India Pale Ale, Dunkin' Pumpkin Ale, Dunkin' Pumpkin Ale. Holly Molly, got a little ring to it. From Wreckage, Brewing, Woodshop Can, India Pale Ale, and Red Ale Double Wing, Keller Pills, Rye Dunkel, and Rustic Hellas, Woolly Pig. He's gonna come down here though. He's gonna come down Southwest Ohio. He's all to the Northeast. Cosmos Reserve and Hefeweizen and St. Max Christmas Ale. Yeah. I see this beer all the time. I never picked it up. I need to.
The Pills Mafia?
I always see it out there. And
I love the name. That's like a great takeoff on the Bills
Mafia. It's got the Bills colors, right? So it's I always see it. Next time I see it, I'm picking it up. I'm giving that one a go.
I think Buffalo needs to be like a trip we need to do, because that just seems like a fun time. I mean, what is this, the last year of the stadium? So they're going to open the new stadium next year for the Bills.
Get to Buffalo. We'll see Joe from the Beer Patrol.
Yeah,
he's in Buffalo, and
that just seems like a fun time.
Yeah. Soul Glow Classic. It is a classic. So I'm surprised Dave when he saw that there. I'm like, what are you talking about? And I saw it. It was like,
I mean, I've got dual screens up because I have all the news on one side. So my little screen here, but I could see Soul Glow. I could see that shit from a mile away.
Oh, that Bernard said he's a little Deb. Yeah, he says, Dave, your hair will look great with a little Soul Glow.
I've got head hair, Ryan. You see this shit? I got nothing back here.
Come on, Dave, let your soul glow.
Yeah. I had a perm back in the day, back in the 80s. I had a perm. I had that white man, Bert Convey, who's another white dude that had the big perm. I had a perm. So I could have used some Soul Glow back then.
I'm just imagining you with the perm going to the club on a Friday night.
Oh yeah.
Right, the butterfly collar, shirt open, couple gold chains right there.
Tom Jones didn't have shit on me.
Oh my goodness. So the last story that we actually have here, pull us up. This was something that just happened recently, which I'm not mad at. I mean, you got to make sure things are taken care of. And Central Ohio Brewery that banned non-service, and this was actually done in Combustion, which Combustion does some good beers as well, after multiple safety incidents, right? So the dogs that people were bringing, I guess a few of them bit a few people, and did this, not just the staff, but some children as well. And they made a big decision, no, if you're not a service animal, we can't have you bringing your dog in anymore. Any thoughts? You're a dog owner. I'm not a dog owner. You're a dog owner. Yeah. And sometimes I wonder what makes a person think they want to take their dog to go out and drink. Is it?
I mean, but that's definitely, it's not the brewery's fault, because it's a business and you don't want people getting injured in your business. That's the dog owner's fault. My dog, who's a great dog in the house, I wouldn't take her to a brewery because she can't behave. She has issues, and if you put her on a leash, she's going to go after other dogs. So it's a mess. So we just don't bring her to places that she would be welcome. That's the owner's fault, because you're fucking entitled and think everybody wants to see your dog or your bratty kid. Leave the shit at home.
I was going to go over to the kids as well.
I'm going full into it. That's not the brewery's fault. That's not anyone's fault but your own for bringing your fucking kid running around causing chaos and your dog. Leave this shit at home. You know who your kids and your dogs are. I couldn't bring Moira to a bar. I could bring her here to me because she's cool with me, but she's not going to be cool to another dog.
Have you ever thought about bringing Moira to one before? No. And it was kind of
no, because I know
it never crossed your mind. Okay.
I know how she is around other dogs. Yeah. And if I took her off the leash, she would be cool. I'm not going to take her off the leash because, you don't want it running out or whatever. You're like in an outdoor public place. So it's just something we choose, my wife and I choose not to do. But I mean, it's not the brew. If anybody gives the brewery shit about this, you got to blame the owners, the dog owners and the kid owners.
Yeah.
I don't have any kids, so I can call them owners.
They're yours. No, looking at this here, like the quote on here, as a dog owner, I wish more places did this. One user wrote, people have no control over their animals and they keep bringing them more and more places. It's insane. Hey, that's what you're hitting on right there and stuff. And it's kind of
I love seeing other dogs at like breweries, and like my wife and I are like almost like shedding a tear. Like we wish we could bring Moira there, but she just can't behave. So we're not going to do it. But like when you see well-behaved dogs, it's like fun. Like it just like brings the energy and the stress level down. You see like a cool dog. There's nothing better than that. But you don't want to be sitting there with like your wife or whomever you're out with and just seeing some dog run amok and barking and all that. Who needs that shit?
Yeah, true. Well, the article itself also drew that contrast there as well. Like it mentions here, Eastside Brewing, which one we talked about before, where they banned children in this tap room after 7 because of widespread attention and some criticism. But they were like damaging some stuff there too, I believe.
Yeah.
But there's like it said, makes mention here some that allow visitors. They said like Brewdog or Seventh Son, Land Grant, Hoof Hearted. But yeah, I mean, if it's something where it's damaging and it's causing issues, they're biting. Yeah. You know, your worker safety, your public safety. I got no problem with them actually doing it. I think, you know, I just don't understand, and maybe because I don't have a dog from a non-dog owner perspective, why people feel the need to take their pets with them when they leave the house.
Oh, yeah. I mean, you see it.
I don't know why that. I don't know. I mean, I see it. I see people going to Kroger sometimes. They have a dog with. Yeah. I'm like, what is the need? It's like, is there something that's not secure that you feel you have to bring your dog with you? Like, why do you have to do that? Like when I was a kid growing up, like your dog stayed at home, dog stayed in the backyard, wherever. You didn't take your dog anywhere like it is nowadays. Yeah.
And I'm a dog owner. Like, you know, Ruby and I, when it's time to go out, we go out. Here's a stick. We'll see you in a couple hours, you know?
Yeah. Right.
And it would be different if we knew she didn't have behavioral issues. It might be different, but we know from the minute we adopted her, all right, this is going to be some work. And so we, as owners, you know, she's our baby. I don't even want to say it. She's an owner. The dog is my child, but I'm not going to subject her because it's a lot of stress on the dog and it's stress on everybody else. Who needs that shit? I would not put a brewery or anybody else through that nonsense.
Right. Well, it's like, thank you, Dave. The summer I started to notice a problem with dogs and breweries in my own friend circle. Not Todd and Shannon. I don't think Todd and Shannon, they don't take their dog out that I'm familiar with. I don't believe they take their dogs anywhere. But it's just kind of crazy just seeing some of the stuff. And like I said, I've seen dogs out of stuff and a lot of dogs that have been just fine there. So I've never seen where there was an issue where a dog went after people or something like that. But you think about it. So if you take a dog out, and here's the thing, the dog and you get the kids in the brewery, right? Well, when you're like a little kid and you see a dog, most of the kids, 95% of them want to go pet that dog or play that dog or do something. Puppy, right? And they start grabbing at it. And like you get a dog that's kind of not used to being in that position, or if it's a rescue dog, maybe there's some stuff in the dog's mind from back in the day, and kids go at it. Like we say, like don't grab a dog's tail. Like kids will grab a dog. Like it's just like you're putting two things together. You just hope they don't explode, but you really don't know if it's going to happen or not. And it's like, why put yourself in that position? The easiest way to avoid it happening is not to have either. Yeah, just don't have either there. And it's kind of like, and it's, you know, I sit there sometimes when I'm at a brewery and I see some of the parents and they come in with their kids just to kind of watch. That's just how it happens, right? You're there with your beer, you're taking in the view, you're just kind of observing. And it's just like, and the parents are walking around drinking all that stuff, and you see the kids start to wander, and you're like, wonder if this parent's going to notice this kid's wandering away from him.
Yeah.
And they don't. And it's like, then there's like, Johnny,
Kevin.
And then they're trying to chase down the kid. And it's just like, and I've seen some parents that were good parents. They saw the kid walk up and they follow behind, or they go get the kid, or say, no, don't do that. Don't do this, whatever. They bring the kid back. But kids are just going to be kids. Dogs are just going to be dogs. They're going to just do what they're doing, right? So it's always up to the parent or the owner to have control of that situation.
Yeah.
And if you don't, you can't come. You can't do it. Like, so
then leave your dog at home, or you stay home and just, hang it home with the dog.
Well, I haven't heard of them getting anybody like sending any hate emails or something like that. Like, we did the story about the kids at 7. Some people were like, "Oh, you don't like kids," blah blah blah. We're like, no, it's a safety factor. Plus, kids are breaking shit. They're breaking stuff all the time. So
you got glass, you got liquor.
Yeah, and it's like Ryan. Like if Ryan's still here, like he knows how Sam Adams is. I was down there. We were down there at Sam Adams when they had a few things over the last couple of months, and I was watching kids out there just like almost tossing the cornhole bags out in the street and stuff, just out there like with one mom trying to watch like 2 or 3 kids. And it's kind of like, now what if your patrons came and they wanted to play corn? They can't play because these kids are running around doing stuff.
Because you got
who do you want to
kids
satisfy?
throwing shit out. Yeah.
Right. So it's like, I would rather have the patrons that are spending the dollars being able to have access to whatever they want access to than one parent or 2 parents bringing their kids that are just not doing anything and taking up space. But that's just me. That's just me. So.
Put the kids on a leash. Let the dogs run free.
I haven't seen a kid on a leash since the airport. I know you've seen it times at the airport.
I haven't seen it a lot lately, but and I was off this week. Thank God I've been on vacation.
I just heard today they have like a bunch of delays taking place with the storms.
New York got hit.
Yeah. But then that would go through the other airports though too, right? Because their place are now offsetting everything else. So
Well, I saw that earlier, so I pulled up the portal for the company I work with. Like, we didn't cancel a lot out of O'Hare. So it must have all been like yesterday, but like, sucks to be them. I'm on vacation this week.
Yeah, good week to be on vacation for sure. Yeah. Tomorrow will be a crazy day as everybody tries to get back to go to work on Monday, I guess. But
that sucks to be them.
Me, I go to the airport bar, call the office. I might not get back. So just so you know. I never seen anybody bring the kids to Sam Adams. Water Monsters, though, takes the family-friendly thing a bit too far. No, actually, right. I've seen kids at Sam Adams, but outside of Sam Adams in Cincinnati, they have like now they brought them in because of the cold, but they have the cornhole kids up out there, and I've seen kids out there running around throwing the bags and stuff. And when I went there for Utopia's weekend, people had kids, actually. When I went there Saturday, I'm like, you got Utopias here. People are coming down for the anniversary thing. And you literally had some people come in and had like a baby with them. And it's like, well, who's sampling the Utopia and who's babysitting? I know both of you ain't sampling Utopia if you got to take care of this baby around here, right?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so it's...
that kid's having a good time breastfeeding. I went there.
Give me some of that good juice. Yeah. But I've seen kids there. I haven't been to Wanderer Monsters yet. I need to get over to Wanderer Monsters. There's some breweries that do good being kid friendly. I think at like Mad Tree, they have kids out there, and there's like stuff that's usually fine that I've seen. But it's kind of like if you're going to a brewery, let's say you're going to a brewery and they don't serve food. Why would you bring a kid there?
Yeah,
for one, right? Like I don't know if many of them do that. I mean, they might have a food truck or something like that, but it's just like a kid is going to be like want to have fun stuff to do. So it's kind of like, what's the kid going to actually do? Is just sit around doing adults. Then do you want to subject your kid to potential conversations or language and stuff like that you might not feel appropriate? Because I get at a brewery, especially if you got a bunch of guys at a brewery come in after a softball game or something like that and everything, we're probably saying all kinds of shit we wouldn't say in front of our mom. So you got your kid in there hearing some stuff that might be going on. So
then like I don't want to sit there and like have to watch what I'm saying because there's a bunch of kids around. This is like an adult environment.
Right. And so it's kind of like, that changes. And I know people that left because there were too many kids. We actually went to one of the places that we're near is called Nine Giant. And Ryan, Nine Giant. And we went there one night for dinner, and then people started coming in with these kids. So it got to be too many. It was like, okay, we're out. So you end up having people leave that could be actually put more money into your brewery or more patronage when you have that. So, the
kid's not buying beer.
The kid's not buying beer. No,
Yeah.
no. And cheers to JV. Happy holiday, my friend. Great to see you,
holidays.
brother. Hope all is well. Hope you and Fifi had a great Christmas. And your kids. Let me see here. Okay. You might be on to something there, though, Ryan.
Yeah,
kids
that's
might be
point.
a good reason to drink each other.
That's a valid point.
Oh, yeah. Mad Trees location. Some park does a good job providing kid-friendly spaces, both inside and out. Yeah, some breweries have done a good job of encompassing it and welcoming kids to actually fit that scenario, right? So kudos to them because they're taking on that responsibility. I don't know if they're going to be enjoying it as much, but they are welcoming that. And Ryan said, go 9 Giant next week, actually. Oh, okay. Hey, if you want to try to connect, let me know. I'm actually 5 minutes from 9 Giant. So, and actually, I just found out 9 Giant has a fermentorium, which is on the other side of 9 Giant, which has their other beers that they don't really have, I think, kids in that one, but some of their higher ABV type stuff, which is next to the ice cream shop. So I have to head over there at some point anyway to check them out. What you just crack open?
I just did another Sierra Nevada.
Trail
That's
Pass?
the IP. Yeah, the Trail Pass IPA. That one's solid.
Okay.
No funny faces out of that.
No weird dank smell coming off of that one, huh?
Yeah.
But no, it's it's interesting. I saved that story for the last one because I feel like going into the next year, we'll still be talking about kids and dogs and breweries.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, the fermentory is great. Some great experimental stuff. We'll be boosting both next. Okay. Visiting, not boosting. Because you taking stuff out when you come in, like boosting in New Jersey means something different,
Yeah.
That's like some Goodfellas talk right there.
Yeah.
But
That's the Lufthansa heist. Yeah.
Yeah. It doesn't matter. It's all profit.
Yeah.
I can watch Goodfellas all the time. Like
Yeah.
if I catch part of it on, I sit there and I'm like, I'm hooked into it for the rest of it. Goodfellas, Tombstone, Josie Wales. Those are my kind of things.
Yeah. Oh, Josie Wales. Yeah. Who's the other one?
The Pale Rider.
Pale Rider. Yes. There you go. Nothing like a good piece of hickory. Yeah.
Buzzard's got to eat. Yeah. It's funny is I'll watch those and I'll get into it and I'll just start quoting while I'm watching it. And she's just like, are you going to watch this again? You're like, yeah, it's I quote the lines. I know the movie, but it's still good every time I watch it.
Yeah. Hunt for Red October. Every time that comes on. All right, I'm in. Yeah.
Yeah. I kind of want to go back and watch the old Shining movie now because I just got done.
Oh, yeah.
Just got done watching Welcome to Derry and watching the It movies, and I'm like, it's a little bit different because they kind of did a different thing from what Stephen King wanted for Shining, but it's still such a great movie. So yeah, I still get like the heart pounding when Scatman goes out into the kitchen area and it's like, don't go past that pole, don't go past that pole. It's like he never hears me every time I watch. He never hears me. The axe still comes flying. So yeah. But as far as beer news, I mean, that's the beer news we have to wrap up 2025.
Yeah, I mean, one thing real quick that I noticed because we got dry January coming up, and this was one thing that I saw that was kind of intriguing. It said that 40% of beer consumers plan to take part in dry January, and like it kind of broke it down a little bit, and it said like half of people that are Gen Z are gonna like participate. So I mean that's like a big chunk. So if you are like I am, January's a rough month for breweries. So even if you're going to participate in dry January, you could still go. They have non-alcoholic offerings out there. Support the food trucks. You still got 4 days left. Stock up your fridge for February. There's things you could do, but January is always like the toughest month for breweries. So
Yeah.
if you get a chance next month, even if you're like me, you're not gonna drink in January, you could still support your breweries in one way or another. But definitely, check them out. Go to a brewery, because in Chicago you might get taxed if you go to a non-brewery. But
You might.
definitely support your local breweries, places like that. And even if you just go to get like a bite to eat, you can go to get a bite to eat. You're still helping the place out.
Yeah, true. Ryan said, "Dry January is against my." Well, I'll still be drinking some, but I do moderate. I do work in more than non-alcoholic beer, so you can do that too. I mean, you might not want to go full dry January,
yeah.
But if you want to break up the routine, you can definitely still moderate. There's some good NA options that are out there as well, and as some of you have taken me up on before, with Go Brewing. You can watch any of the Go Brewing videos on my channel, and I have a code in there in the description to get you a discount. Dave has them on his channel, Beer in Front, I'm sure, as well. Both of us are ambassadors with Go Brewing, and you put the code in, whether it's Beer in Front or Rod J BeerVentures, to get 15% off, and they ship it to your house. And I can tell you, Go Brewing does have some decent selections. I would still say the sours are the best one I've had thus far still. The winter IPA I'm going through, it's okay. It's decent. The winter IPA I have right now, and the review will be upcoming shortly on it as a preview. It's more, to me, of a kind of a seltzer hop water type blend. I pick up kind of the seltzer and the hop water type thing. So it's not terrible. Because I do like some of the hop water type things, but it's just not fully there on the beer one. On this one, I've had other ones that were better off on it. So it's again, no brewery is going to always be perfect for you either, for the most part. I mean, you might find something that might be a little off kilter, might still be a good beer, but just not where you want it to be. Yeah. And that's how this beer was. It's decent enough, but it just wasn't my thing as much. So, but that's the fun of experimenting and trying all these different things. But
and we both talk about them, and it helps both of our channels out. But and no bullshit. Like Go, I think pound for pound is my favorite non-alcoholic brewery out there.
Yeah, I think they have the best, and I've said this numerous times before. They've got the best suite of beers, going across the NA spectrum that you have. Now, my favorite NA beer, like I said, is the Deschutes Black Butte. As far as an individual, but as far as a collective, really, you got Athletic against Go. I'd take Go any day of the week and Price on Sunday. So
10 of time. Absolutely.
Yeah. So I think they have some of the best. I haven't done the Bureau. I know I've been seeing a lot of stuff about that as well. I
had one, and it wasn't great. But it's not to say it was bad. It was better than O'Doul's or Sharps, but it wasn't my thing. I think there are better NA options out there if that's the road you want to choose. Like this one right here from Sierra Nevada, Trail Pass IPA, solid. I would drink this all the time. It's a great beer.
Yeah, that, like I said, that earlier I said, like the Sam Adams, Just the Haze, supposed to be pretty good as well. I haven't tried that one yet, but people have told me that have done it and have really liked that one. So, I experiment. You got to moderate. You can't be all heavy on the beer, right? You got to make sure your body keeps that balance. Make sure you're getting your steps in. Make sure you're like Hulk Hogan here. Make sure you're what do you used to say?
Vitamins,
take your vitamins. Yeah. Make sure you're doing all the other stuff you need to do to keep in balance. But
I'm going to hit it hard in the next 4 days before January 1st.
I'm going to ride that hog high. No, definitely. And so that's what we got for the beer news. Anything else you want to mention on here? Anything you got upcoming?
No, I'm going to talk to the guy from the Brewers Association, hopefully in about a week and a half. So I'll have that out on the show. Even though I'm doing dry January, I have a ton of videos and a ton of beers recorded that's in the can. So it's just going to be the regular content that's coming out. I'll sprinkle in some NA stuff along the way, but it's just going to be regular thing on my channel.
Okay. And Ryan said, I heard great things about Ryan Guys. Not a call offering the Ghost, I think Ghost Pills, I believe. I haven't tried them yet either. But Ryan Guys, I'm actually interested. I need to try to connect with them and get them on because they also had came out with the THC option.
All right.
So I wonder how they're being affected with this whole thing.
Oh yeah, Ohio, definitely, yeah.
Yeah. But on my end, more stuff being lined up coming up here shortly. Actually, in a talk with one of the malt houses. So for all you that like homebrew, hopefully have them on, kind of talk about what they're doing in the homebrewing type thing, but also been wanting to get more ingredient focused type things. So I'm going to try to get some more top people on here in 2026. But we're going to go with the malt thing. Also, I mentioned earlier, Julie from Kick Fizz. We're talking about getting her on. We'll talk about her THC out in Colorado, what they're doing on the drinks there. And a couple other things I'm lining up. Also, you'll be seeing some other stuff I'll be sharing out there that I won't make it a fully note as of yet, but I basically going to be a contributor writer, it looks like, next year for one of the industry magazines. So I'll be sharing stuff on that as well. And then a few other things that are taking place. So not that I had enough stuff to do before, but apparently I'm taking on more stuff now to get more beer things actually happen now for you guys. So stay tuned for all of that. And a shout out, good night to you as well, Ryan. Great to have you on. And we got to get you on here with Cincy Brew Dad. So we'll get something set up to get you guys on as well and talk about what you're doing here in Cincinnati. But stay tuned. 2026 should be more promising stuff to bring to the channel. And I can't believe I'll be going into my 11th year next year. Well,
these go to 11.
Yeah. Turn it to 11. Yeah. Little spinal tap for all you millennials out there. I'm just saying. Don't know what it is? Ask your mom or dad.
Yeah.
All right. We'll sign off here. Well, I'm going to drink a little beer after hours. I don't know if you got to hang out or you're going to leave.
Yeah, I'm going to visit another room for a minute, but I'll be right back in 2 minutes. But Happy New Year, everybody. Have a great New Year. 2026.
And remember, be safe out there. Don't drive if you don't have to drive. Yeah. Obviously, if you're going to drink, get Uber, get Lyft. I was actually trying to find for my Facebook page earlier, but I don't think I still have it. But last year, they gave me a code to put out there for people that might need it. If I find it, I'll put that on the Facebook page or Instagram or something like that. But be safe out there. There's already craziness that we're seeing from Christmas weekend of people driving, doing stupid stuff. So not worth it. Not worth it. And if you don't be
that person. Yeah. Don't be that person.
Yeah. If you don't crash and you get a DUI, it'll be even that much more that you got to, flip your life over. So don't do it. Just don't. Yeah. So that being said, we are out of here. Have a great New Year's, and we will talk to you in the new year. Cheers, everybody. Cheers.